Why are we taking this, Allie?
お腹空いてませんか？なんならどこかで何か食べていきましょうか。
No. It's like midnight, dude.
Perfect for a snack. Now that I was thinking about it, I hadn't eaten anything since the afternoon, but couldn't bring myself to eat right now. Seemed like Ibo picked up on that much at least. Our conversation stopped and our footsteps echoed through the dark, empty streetways. Wow! When we reached the Kamo River, Ibo stopped walking.
If we... Yes! Yeah!
Why he look so angry?
坂本龍馬が殺されたことでこの今日の街は大きく揺れ動くでしょう。
The sincerity of his voice, given the current circumstances, made my body tense up. It was a little painful to imagine, but I was sure that he would be right in the near future.
Are we gonna go to war?
Iba didn't answer immediately. We both watched as the moonlight hid behind the thick clouds above, and he stayed silent. I pressed on.
Just like after the Ikeda Inn incident, when the Choshu attacked us.
I wasn't too familiar with politics, but felt the same anxiety now as I did back then. Choshu became angry as a result of losing their retainer at Ikeda, so they attacked the Hamaburi Gate. Then I knew something similar would happen. The uncertainty of it all made me so restless as we shivered in the cold Kyoto evening, but Iba continued to stay silent for a moment.
状況が少し違います。
Ah.
あの時は長州から御所を守りきり幕府側が勝利を収めました。
Back then. What about now?
Iba seemed unsure on how he should answer. But then he decided to open up, even though his voice told me he didn't believe what he was saying.
2度目の長州征伐の失敗で幕府の権威は地に落ちています。そんな時長州藩に攻めてくる口実を与えてしまった。そして金門の変の時は幕府側についていた薩摩藩が今度は長州の後ろ盾となり京に登ってくるはずです。
As Iba told me all of this, I became speechless. This happened so quickly, our lives were changing. Iba sighed as if burdened by the suddenness of these changes, and he bit his lips tenderly.
この今日は再び戦場になるかもしれません。その時果たしてどれだけのものが戦えるのか。
His words struggled to come out as if encumbered by blood rising through his throat. You should get that checked out.
Oh.
I was surprised to hear Iba tell me all of this, and I began to panic internally.
Iba, you're an official guard of the shogunate. Why would you think in such a way?
He looked like he was fighting back tears. He simply shook his head.
逆ですよ。幕府の中にいるからこそわかるんです。長州征伐が失敗に終わったことで徳川審判ですら幕府の力に疑いを持つところが出てきている。僕のような旗本御家人でさえ本気で戦をするなどと考えていない者も多い。今の幕府のために戦う家臣が果たしてどれほどいるか。
Didn't know what I could say to Iba. Knew this was all tough for him to admit, especially because he was a Bakushin. But even then, it must have been something that came from his gut instinct. What could I possibly say? You have the Shinsengumi.
Definitely not.
I'm
Don't worry
not
about it.
to give you some worthless fucking platitude.
You have the Shinsengumi.
Said this under the clear light of the radiant moon as it crept from behind the clouds.
Yeah, turn that frown upside down.
It seemed like my comment caught him off guard. Eva's eyes grew wide as he stared at me.
I know this is because I've been with the Shinsengumi after all this time.
Okay, wait a minute though. He's staring at us, right?
Uh-huh.
This angle makes it
How
look like we're
short are
3
we?
feet tall.
No! I'm positive that they would risk all of their lives to fight this war with you. No matter what happens, I trust them to fight until the bitter end.
Silence returned beside the flowing river. He
Also
looked at me
'cause they're
with,
dudes.
"They got this, don't even worry, man." He looked at me with a worried expression, then he sighed and closed his eyes for a moment.
そうですね。
You're not alone, bro.
Unlike earlier, this time it seemed like he was more at ease by the prospect.
確かにそうです。トシさんたちならきっと最後まで戦ってくれる。今の幕臣にはない覚悟の強さを感じられるからこそ。
They all have the will to live.
僕もついついあの人たちのところに足を向けてしまうのかもしれません。もちろんあなたに会いたいというのも理由の一つではありますけど。
Eva laughed momentarily and then quietly turned to face the river again.
It's a lovely river.
新選組の人たちは僕たちよりずっと武士なのかもしれませんね。
He seemed to glow with a lot of respect as he said this, and I nodded to agree. Eventually, silence returned between us, and the only sound was the flow of the river beside us. Eva stared deeply at the moon, which at this point had inched away from the clouds and shone brightly above us, causing the river to sparkle in kind. Wow, this is fucking gorgeous.
できるだけ早く
What?
今日を離れてください。
Hey, wait a fucking minute. What the fuck did you just say? His words shocked me, and I had been told to leave the Shinsengumi out of personal concern before, but this time was different. This time these words were backed by conviction.
新選組に対する義理や行動さんのこと、いろいろな事情があるのはわかります。すぐに決めるのは難しいでしょうけど、でもできるだけ早くそうした方がいい。
Through the urgency of Iba's voice, I could sense just how much he cared about me. Of course, he had just said so himself earlier. But because he was so familiar with the internal politics of the shogunate, I knew he truly believed what he said would become of Kyoto. So I should have taken him for his word, but... Oh no, you cut out again.
Oh no, but I...
気持ちはわかります。でも今度こそ本当に命を落とすかもしれない。その時僕が守ってあげられればいいでしょうけど、そうできるとは限らないんです。以前武田さんに殺されそうになった時のことを忘れたわけじゃないですよね。
I jumped at the thought. True, what he may have said. What he said may have had some merit.
Okay.
I said so stubbornly, hoping he'd just drop it.
何が
Okay. Although he wasn't raising his voice, I could still sense the coldness in his question. Perhaps he was becoming frustrated by my unwillingness to budge. Was he really irritated that I wouldn't just take his words at face value?
If I get hurt, I'll just recover quickly, so I'll be fine.
Suddenly, I remembered the moment in which Takeda called me a monster.
Physically, not mentally.
Sure, I may be a little bit different from a normal human, but because of these powers, maybe I could be of some use to the Shinsengumi. Even I, without any battle experience, could maybe, possibly, perhaps do my part if the time ever came.
大丈夫なんかじゃありません。
Those were not the words I was expecting to hear from him.
あなたが傷を負うぐらいならこの身を切り刻まれる方がまだマシだ。
Please don't.
たとえすぐに傷が治るとしてもそれでいいなんて割り切れるはずがない。
So don't look.
怪我をしても大丈夫なんて。
Easiest fix ever. Just close your eyeballs.
I'm a menace.
あなたは普通の女の子なんですから。
Denial is not just a river, my guy.
I could sense warmth welling in my chest as he spoke to me with such concern. I had to deflect with jokes. I'd never expected him to care for me in the way he did. I'm different than a normal girl.
I'm different than other girls.
I'm special.
Yeah.
I'm so random. Hee hee ha
I
ha.
wear size 9 sneakers. In men's.
Like Takeda had said, guess I couldn't blame someone for thinking I'm a monster. But for Iba to see me for otherwise, tears began to form as my cheeks flared.
Like a chipmunk.
Beautiful. The closeness of our relationship made me blush with emotion.
The what?
Emotion.
Do you know what emotion is, Emily?
Never. I've never had that word happen to me in my whole life. The intimacy. Never that either, apparently.
Shit!
Whew. The intimacy of his kindness drew me in as I watched him smile warmly. Shut up. I was able to tell him a secret all those years ago that I couldn't share with anyone else. Only him. I fought back the tears and I shined the biggest smile I could to let him know how much it all meant.
Thank you, Eva.
I felt bad that I couldn't do exactly what he had asked of me, but
If something truly dangerous were to happen to me, I guess I could do what you're saying. Guess I might leave.
maybe I'll think about it.
Like a 40% chance.
He gave a small sigh.
まったく。あなたはよほど僕をやきもきさせたいと見える。わかりました。
I love someone else too,
そ
shorty.
れじゃあ僕は幕府とあなたの両方を
I'm sorry.
守ることにしましょう。
Out of pocket.
After Iba sighed, he looked up again at the moon hovering above. Shortly after, his tone became a little more cheerful.
本所に戻りましょうか。お互いこれから大変そうですけど。
I'm gonna have to make so much tea from now on.
Oh, God. And we returned to Fudodo village. After the assassination of Ryoma Sakamoto, the Shinsengumi were facing an even bigger situation.
What if even like Yoma's good end, it still ends up with us being heartbroken over his death?
There's no way, because he dies too early. Like, there's so much game left after this point. As far
Yeah.
as, like, the overarching plot, there's no way he can die if you go down his route. Like,
The game ends right there.
that's whack. What if his route really is just shorter than everybody else's? That would be insane. Like, he either dies or you run away, and the rest of the plot is moot.
Uh-huh. Wow. Wow.
Before November ended, the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb, which was Ito's faction, had been undergoing a serious internal strife. Saito had joined the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb as Shinsengumi's spy. Based on the intelligence report, the Shinsengumi had assassinated Ito.
Whoa, we skipped all of that.
Wow. The attack on the Guardians eventually became known as the Aburano Koji incident. Ah, I was like, wait a minute. This guy. This fucking
Murder.
guy. What? I will stay here. I'm not helping for shit. Apparently not stopping you, but also I'm not helping. Oh,
Oh. Oh.
who did that? Wait, we had that scene before?
Yeah, I think it was during like a Heisuke route.
Probably, that makes sense. Because there was a period where he was like, don't talk to me, I'm sad.
God, right? That was terrible.
It really was the worst.
Remembering it makes me angry.
What? What?
Him being all like emo.
No, that's not what...
Oh, the achievement?
Did you just... Okay, but we got an achievement already. Wait.
Yeah.
Do we
We did
normally
it.
get an achievement at this part? Oh, okay,
beat
his
the
route
game.
has started. I was like, wait a fucking minute, what the fuck? The game ended? What were you saying? I was too distracted, I'm so sorry.
So I thought you were confused by what I was saying, but I was just saying that I was still remembering Heisuke's emo face.
It was truly a dark time.
Terrible.
I know we all have to have our emo face, but like, not Heisuke. We should swap.
Okay. It was the winter of 1867. The end of the year was approaching us. Iba had warned me not too long ago that I should leave Kyoto, but I had no time to make a decision. Kyoto's political climate had grown increasingly tense everywhere I looked. The threat of war loomed ominously as the shogunate and the Satsuma Choshu prepared their armies. As a precaution, the Shinsengumi was ordered to guard the Fushimi Magistrate, which was being fortified as a shogunate safeguard in Kyoto. Kondo joined an envoy en route to Fushimi Castle as part of a delegation to discuss key strategies when an attempt on his life critically wounded him.
The way that we just glaze over this every time.
Every time. And
they're like, by the way,
did it
Kondo
not
almost
skip
died.
this?
Right? Why did it not skip this?
The assailant was a gunman, so we needed to perform urgent care on him immediately, and the captains waited anxiously for our updates.
Yamazaki, どうだったんだ? 近藤さんの様子は?
今は少し落ち着いたらしく眠っておられますが、傷が思った以上に深い様子で、銃弾は摘出しましたが、我々ではここまでが限界です。ここでは道具にも限りがありますし。
Hijikata watched quietly, seemingly deep in thought, as he was listening to Yamazaki's report. Eventually,
医者っつうと、今ちょうど松本先生が大坂城にいるはずだな。ここじゃいつ戦になるかわからねえ。今のうちに向こうに移した方がいいか。
Hijikata hung his head low with a bitter expression, and Shimada bowed his head apologetically.
申し訳ありません。俺が身を挺してでも局長をお守りするべきです。
Poor Shimada keeps getting in charge of people who get hurt anyways.
Right?
何言ってんだよ。近藤さんが殺されずに済んだのはお前の働きがあってのことだろうが。しかし、
済んだことを悔やんでもしょうがねえ。それよりも今は傷が広がらねえよう手を打つのが先だ。本人にとっちゃ不本意だろうが、近藤さんには大坂城でしばらく養生してもらうしかねえか。
I read that as rest in peace for a second there, and I was like,
Oh, fuck.
病人もいるしな。
oh. The
Hijikata's
sick
order
one.
made me gasp. Had he been talking about...
病人っつうのは誰のことだ? もしかして
Haruda was sharp, so I'm sure that he had been thinking about the same person as I was.
掃除のことだよ。あいつの病は老害だ。
Isn't that shit contagious?
Yeah. We looked this up before. It's not only contagious, it's like airborne contagious, so everyone should have it at this point.
Right? How did we manage this? After seeing Okita get worse and worse over the past few months, I had a feeling that was the case. So Okita officially had tuberculosis. What a clown. To my knowledge, the disease was incurable. Once you contracted it, all you could do was rest, hoping that you could do whatever it took to stave the disease's progression until...
なるべく早く近藤さんたちを大坂城に移す手はずを整えねえとな。
Although maybe it's not like it's contagious, but like maybe not that contagious. Cause yeah, otherwise how did not everyone die from tuberculosis back in the day?
And how are you gonna send a man with a gunshot wound in the same fucking, like, I don't know, carriage as the dude with tuberculosis?
Terrible.
Oh, sorry.
It's
I was
okay.
googling how contagious tuberculosis is.
Oh, I see.
Hichikata, who was probably more worried than anyone here, seemed focused on the future, trying to find solutions even as things seemed grim. Given the circumstances, there was no way I could insert any of my own worries into the situation. On the contrary, it motivated me to do whatever I could to help them during this rough period. After a few days had passed, I was preparing the arrangements for Kondo and Okita's departure for Osaka Castle when...
Oh, I know why it's not skipping anymore. It's because we're officially in like Iba's chapter 5. Like chapter 5 is where they branch into the separate routes. That's why we got the achievement, is because we officially started his route.
I see.
My bad.
Although it's contagious, it's not easy to catch.
君に来客です。
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was like, wait a minute. Wouldn't everyone have tuberculosis if it's like an airborne contagious disease?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. For sure. Just give me a moment, please. Ha. I have to look up how contagious tuberculosis is.
I quickly wrapped up their clothing into bags, and Shimada led me to the common room where I saw
こん
my
にちは
bestie.
元気にしていましたか
Iba, what are you doing here?
近藤さんを大坂城へ移送する際護衛を務めさせていただくことになりました
Oh.
それから今は奥詰めではなく遊撃隊と名を改めることになりましたどうぞお見知りおきを
Yugeki unit.
せっかくの年の瀬だし本当ならのんびりと来年の抱負でも語りたいところなんですがね
He sighed lightly, then Iba turned to face Hijikata.
それで近藤さんの容体はどうなんです
目は覚ましてくれたが熱がなかなか下がらねえ。掃除の方もとても剣を握れる状態じゃねえな。
なるほど
Iba, but
Iba,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's always like there's always a little bit of a like reprogramming every time we swap.
I feel that. Iba bowed his head, closing his eyes for a brief moment. He too had shared a long history with Kondo, so I'm sure he was worried about the possible outcome of Kondo's condition. However, he snapped back up as if preventing himself from ruminating on what could possibly be.
わかりましたそれでは我々が責任を持って二人を大坂城へと運びます
Hijikata shook his head slowly.
いや、二人じゃね
What?
三人
We're getting sent to, cause we're useless.
I wondered who the third person could possibly be. It couldn't have been any of the captains, since all of them were needed at the magistrate.
Who's not needed?
え。な 何人事みてえな顔してやがる。お前も大坂城へ行くんだよ。
What? Me?
I had absolutely no idea that I'd be going to Osaka, so naturally I was dumbfounded.
Honestly, they should have done this in every route.
Right.
なるほど。医術の心得がある彼女に近藤さんや沖田君
That's a very nice way to put it, Iba.
He has so much faith in us. It's absolutely hysterical.
そういうことだ。薩摩の連中がやる気になってやがるからな。近いうちに。
This is gonna be so fun, a road trip.
Oh boy, a war medic. I can't think of anything more delightful.
そんな状況で、こいつをこのままここに留め置くわけにはいかね
I'd rather be a war medic than a trash messenger.
I don't know about that. War medics see
Seriously?
some shit.
I mean, that's very true, but like,
I'm pretty sure the
I don't know.
trauma from that would break me worse than being a shitty messenger. At least I'd be like, I'm doing my best. Whereas if I'm just watching people die all around me and trying to help but not doing a very good job, I'd be like, it's time for me to end it all.
oof. Hijikata's intentions were good, and what he'd said made sense, but come on, man. I can't bring myself to not in agreement.
Hey now.
It looked as though Iba understood him nodding in agreement to Hijikata's proposition. But then he looked over to me as if he was hoping for me to say how I'd felt about the idea. How should I respond?
If those are the commander's orders,
I guess.
who am I to go against that? Ha ha ha.
Honestly, I had no desire to leave from the Shinsengumi with all that was going on, but
If those are the commander's orders, yeah, okay.
as I gritted my teeth subtly, I was internally screaming from accepting an order I didn't want. My heart sank like a heavy stone in my chest as the reality of leaving began to settle.
Dang, she is really not jazzed about this. I don't think she's ever been this upset about a choice we've made.
Right? Damn. When Hijikata heard my answer, he closed his eyes, perhaps a little relieved, but then,
今の言葉は本当にあなたの本心ですか
Iba.
What?
As usual, Iba seemed to see right through my intentions and his question got right to it.
おい、八郎。余計なことを言うんじゃねえ。
余計なことじゃありませんよ。大事なことです。
Iba had already impressed upon me the importance of escaping Kyoto as soon as I could. Considering his own duties, there was really no need for him to look after what I wanted. But even then, Iba had been watching out for me. The manner in which he'd acknowledged the position I was in and put what I wanted into consideration gave me the confidence to speak my mind.
If I told either of you that I wasn't concerned about Kondo or Okita, mostly Kondo, I'd be lying. I think that having someone by their sides to treat and care for them is important. However, if war were to break out soon, as you suggest, then what will become of the others here? When I think about all the men who may suffer serious injuries here, it pains me to think that I'd be abandoning them all to leave for Osaka.
After I spoke my mind, Iba's eyes twinkled kindly and he turned to Hijikata. No road trip?
Hey, wait a minute.
だそうですよ。トシさん、確かに近藤さんや沖田君の看病は彼女でなくてもで
What
きるし。
the fuck?
Wait, but isn't Iba going with them too? Hey, wait.
国内
Yeah,
に
why are
い
you
るかもしれません
doing this?
Why are you doing this to
彼女の
us?
せいで言って病状が良くなるわけでもないですよね。
Wow.
So
wow.
true.
He only acknowledges our uselessness when it favors what he's about to say.
何より このまま連れて行ったら僕が彼女に恨まれてしまいそうです。
What?
He did it for himself. That is funny. Oh, sorry. Hijikata closed his lips bitter. I was just so shocked.
Oops. I'm so sorry.
He bit his lips. That's all that mattered.
Who?
しょうがねえ。江戸の女には勝てねえ。
What? You mean women in general? Like you know any other women?
Oh, fuck.
Jokes.
You got no bitches,
Fucking
Toshi.
jokes.
確かにそうかもしれませんね。にしてもまさかトシさんに勝てる女の人が日野のお
What?
姉さん以外にいるなんて。
Okay, well now I'm curious, huh? Oh, who? Now I'm so curious.
余計なことを言うんじゃねえ。
Damn it.
Damn it. There has to be a flashback.
Right?
Hijikata thinned his eyes at Iba, and Iba simply laughed it off. However, Hijikata's tone shifted back to a serious one.
ま、薩摩の連中はやる気満々らしいが、幕軍は別に戦をしに来たわけじゃねえ。連中の挑発に乗りさえしなきゃ戦になることはねえはずだ。
As long as we don't fall.
たとえ戦に
It took me so long to get through because I was so stuck on the first couple of words.
負けることはねえさ。
Hijikata expressed confidence in the shogunate's odds, but
そう
Iba's answer vexed me. Usually, Iba trusted whatever Hijikata said and responded with a smile. But this time, not even Iba's handsomeness could hide the lines of worry in his face, and he tried to play it off.
I love the the subtle not subtleness.
彼女のことをくれぐれもよろしくお願いします。あなたもトシさんや新選組の方々の命令をきちんと聞くようにしてください。
Never. I mean, totally. Of course. Of course.
それじゃあ近藤さんたちを大阪まで運ぶ支度をしましょうか。彼らのところに案内してくれますか。
Yes, absolutely. Please come this way. I can't believe you're not taking us on a road trip. This isn't fair.
It's terribly rude of him to
Right?
get our hopes up like this.
Literally.
I led Iba to where Kondo and Okita had been resting.
沖田くん、大丈夫ですか？歩けますか？
Is he still a weird little spiteful
Oh my
grumpy
God,
pants around
right?
Iba?
Don't make him.
This is gonna be
Guide this
such an
bitch.
awkward trip. Oh my god!
君って本当嫌味だよね。
Oh, he's the worst.
肩を貸しましょう。僕の首に腕を回してください。
Oh my god!
僕も落ちたものだよね。
Ugh. What a punk ass piece of shit.
Okita struggled to breathe, continuing to cough painfully, and he was taken outside to the dumpster.
The dumpster. The fucking. If he's already this bad, the effort with which he has to go or to fucking utilize to constantly stream out this fucking shit talking.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really worth it, dog?
Right. Then Kondo too was moved from the building.
Not to the dumpster, because he's a good boy.
無念とはこういう気分のことを言うのだろうな。大樹公の御ために働かねばならんこの時期にこのような怪我をしてしまうとは。
心配すんな。あんたの留守は俺たちが守ってみせるさ。
Hijikata assured Kondo confidently, then Kondo seemed to relax a little from his words.
後のことは頼んだぞトシ
Hijikata nodded his head deeply. After we watched the Yugeki unit carry the two of them out, Iba turned to face me one last time to ask me a question.
本当にいいんですね
No.
Take me away.
Take me away.
Without any hesitation, I cried. I nodded my head.
Yep. This is the path I chose, apparently.
Iba's eyes also glistened with tears, and he seemed like there was something else he wanted to say. Did I? Anyways, he thinned his eyes. Neither of us are happy here. As a cool breeze blew against a background of sunset, Iba closed his eyes slowly. We paused for a moment, basking in the silence. Then he spoke softly, practically to himself.
本当なら無理やりにでもあなたを連れて行きたいところなんですけど
You don't gotta force me. Just ask me again. Maybe I'll bend.
一生後悔させてしまうことになる
All I could do was stare at the ground in remorse. I knew that my decision was fucked up. I was so oblivious that I couldn't see how terrible this decision was and how I wanted was against what he wanted.
先ほどトシさんは薩長は
Oops.
どんな手を使ってでも徳川家を叩き潰すつもりですおそらく戦になるでしょう
Iba had warned me of this back during the Omiya incident.
What do you think the chances of victory are?
わかりません数ならば幕軍が上回っているはずですが
Should what?
Win?
Should what?
戦というものは兵の数だけで決まるものではありませんから
Iba expressed an anxiety of his in the past. That the Hatamoto and Shogun vassals were in no way prepared for a serious conflict, and the shogunate had experienced such defeat during the second Choshu expedition.
Whoa.
Oh. Iba suddenly grabbed a hold of my hand, and he drew me closer to him, almost forcefully.
絶対に死なないでくださいね危険だと思ったらどんな手を使ってでも逃げて生き延びてください今日君の願いを聞くべきじゃなかった
Literally.
無理やりにでも
Right.
大坂城に連れて行くべきだったって
It would have happened if you hadn't fucking been like, but tell me how you really feel.
僕を後悔させるような結末にはしないと約束してください
Oh.
His hands quivered as they clasped mine. As children, we'd held hands numerous times. When he would read to me, I remember thinking about how soft and delicate his hands were.
I love how apparently we remember everything now. When the fuck did that happen?
Right? Now, even as we've grown up, his hands were still giving me great warmth and comfort. But he could still use some lotion. I must do whatever it takes not to break his heart. As we neared our goodbyes, my heart felt heavy with the anticipation of missing him.
Promise. Promise you that I'll never do anything to hurt you, Iba, except for what I'm doing right now.
As I gave him my promise, he shared with me the same familiar smile I had grown to admire.
確かに約束しましたよ
Then, almost painfully, he released my hands. And so he left with Kondo and Okito.
Come back!
As I watched him leave, I spoke to him internally. Thank you so much, Iba. I vowed to keep my promise, no matter what. So please, be safe as well. As the winds carried the dead leaves around my feet, I stood there, watching Iba leave until the small of his back disappeared into the horizon.
What if it just rolled to credits?
He died.
No!
Credits.
If anyone dies, it should be us. We're in the fucking thick of it. He's just going on the road.